What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 25th of November, and here we are sitting at about $0.00355 with 8 hours and 20 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are, recovering, up 4% today, where most coins I feel like are not up. I mean, if we're looking at my list here, everything is red. Oop. Everything is red except for Zebec. Maybe a couple of other ones. Alice is up a couple, but really Alice is down. SPA is up, but really SPA is down. They're all down. Even if they're up, they're all down, right? But it's nice to see this kind of recovery, especially this nonstop V-shaped recovery here from a low to where you are now. You're up 68% over the past like 5 days, not even a week now. That's pretty tremendous. Likely and typically with these V-shaped recoveries, they go back to where the V started, right? Now, did the V start all the way up here? Did it only start right here? Yeah, time will tell. But typically, I would expect it's more simple. Don't just say that this is where the V started because it's what you want to see. It's more practical, I think, to just admit that this is where the V started, right? We're having a V-shaped recovery based off of this point here. So likely where this move takes us is just above this point here. So what? And TA can be made simple sometimes. Sometimes it's a head scratcher and you really don't know and you have to like really dive in and even still you might be at like a 50-50 chance of like what you think is going to happen. Sometimes it's difficult to determine where the price is going to go, but in moments like this it's very obvious, right? Well, this is the high, we have a V-shaped recovery going on. Typically you stop just above where the V started, so what is just above this line where the V started? That might be a good area to stop. Prior daily closing highs, prior daily closing lows, support here, support there, resistance, right? Maybe a little bit higher, something between 004, 0041, or higher. It could be higher. It's possible it could be higher, but let's just keep those lines there and then take a relative high here, put it at the low, and you'll find that the golden ratio is basically right there. And typically with the golden ratio, you do go, you don't stop right at the golden ratio, right? Here's the line. We're deleting it. It's just above the golden ratio there. Typically you do go just above it. And I mean, maybe we rip all the way up to the 786. There's no rules that say we can't. I would think something between about 00438 to 004 itself, something in that range might be exactly where ZBCN is going. If not, maybe just a little bit lower. Again, something in that golden ratio range could happen. Something above 0038 though. That's where you're going. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here. 1 hour time frame, and let's look at you with some volume. Look at you on Bybit, sure. You're getting a little bit of volume in here. That's nice. Now yesterday, this was a little bit of a concern of mine right here. I actually wanted to make a post, but I didn't have, it wasn't conclusive enough evidence for me to say what I was going to say. But the fact that you pumped here without any volume at all did make me scared that you could see some kind of fake out and then pull back to the downside, right? I was scared about that. That's kind of what you got. You did pull back, but you found support at prior resistance, and now you are getting volume as you're moving higher. So this is fine. It doesn't need to be volume like this. It doesn't need to outmatch this. It just needs to be greater volume than what we saw here in our consolidation range. So now you're building volume, you're moving higher. That looks good. This right here, this little endeavor with the volume coming in, this legitimizes the move higher. It legitimizes it, okay? Delegitimizes the risk of breaking down. It can happen. Anything can happen at any given moment, but this looks good is all I'm trying to say. Look at that bearish 1 hour candle you had just on the last hour, and now look at this answer that you've got here. Perfect. Sitting on top of a 68% move from your recent low like 5 days ago. And you had this perfect top candle, and you're just like, I don't care. I'm going to engulf it. RSI is very bullish here. You're getting overbought consistently. You're not getting oversold. You're barely below the 40 at all. You're barely below the 50 at all. Spending most of your time above the 50 is good. Getting overbought, not getting oversold is good. Getting lower lows in the RSI while providing higher lows in the price is good. That's hidden bullish divergence. And then not only that, but you've broken out of your downtrend too, right? You had like a little downtrend here and you broke out of that. And you continue to rally with that. That's awesome to see. Looking at the stochastics, very bullish. Looking at the MACD, very bullish. Nothing suggesting that we're done growing here. Okay. 4 hour time frame, there is some bearish divergence. Let's be fair. But will it work out? I don't know. Is it something that's going to matter? That's going to actually pull the price down? I don't know. Right here, actually, you didn't have any bearish divergence there, to be fair. But I mean, right now, it looks like you have bearish divergence because you have lower highs. But what if this 4-hour candle grows a little bit more? Or what if we don't pull back on the next 4-hour candle? We actually can continue to grow. This bearish divergence will go away. You'll have a higher high, and in which case it's likely a mark of continued growth from here, right? We're not stopping. If anything, we just consolidated for a little while. Now we're ready to rally, right? We just stopped. We just took a break, and now we're ready to go. You crossed above the 0 on your MACD, and typically we do a day and a half to 3 days, that we're refining that range a little bit. You started to move up here. I mean, really, you're still kind of consolidating, but then you started to move up, like really in the last 4 hours is when you really started to move up. But however you want to look at it, I would think in the way that we've identified this 4-hour MACD kind of behavior, typically you see a move that is bigger than what brought you into it, right? If not bigger, at least something that's a little bit more vibrant and a little bit faster. That's looking like what we're getting here. You know, put it at the low there. That would take us all the way up to 0045. Maybe that's where we go. Again, the 786 might be an area that we interact with, or the 886 even. There is some bearish divergence on the MACD, let's be fair. That is something to note, but again, it's only there until it's not, until we keep growing, and then this is building bullish momentum instead. I would say between these 2 points, these 2 highs and these 2 points, that was bearish divergence, but we had to move down. Now we're recovering. Now we likely build bullish momentum. I like the 4-hour MACD is what I'm saying. I like the stochastics bouncing off the 50, and the RSI is immaculate. It looks great. This is an ideal RSI, not a bearish RSI at all. So, and you're building volume, all good things. I highly doubt you stop here. Now, I'm getting stuck. I'm getting hung up on this thought that I had that we'd see a bigger move here than what we saw bringing us up to this, right? So we should see then, in theory, something that takes us above here. But then again, we go on the daily time frame, we talk about this V-shaped recovery. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to just push all the way up there. Now, to be fair, just because the V stops here doesn't mean that we have to stop here. We could push higher. We absolutely could push higher. But then if we take this high to low, it doesn't really line up with the 786 or the 886. And you can stop in the area, but typically you stop at one of these lines. It's either or typically. It's not that you can't stop here. It's just it's less typical. But maybe we're using the wrong fib. Maybe we have to take it from the all-time high, which is a much more significant price level. High to low here, that still does take us just below the 786. But again, the idea would be that we see a stronger move than this. So what's just above just above that move would be the 786. Maybe we do. Maybe we just built out a case for why Zebec could run all the way up to $0048 from here. Maybe it's 2 days from now and you're up there. I don't know. 0048 to 004. That is the expected intended outcome. Now, does that mean that it has to happen? No. But I personally would be very surprised if we saw any kind of significant consolidation before pumping another 13% or 35% or somewhere in that range. Okay. And typically, if we're looking at this, you'd either stop in the golden ratio zone, so that could be a 14% to a 23% move, or if you don't stop here, you're likely not going to stop between this white line and the blue line. You're likely, if you don't stop here, you likely just make your way up to the 786 specifically. Maybe you wick a little bit through it, maybe you stop right at it, but something right there is completely acceptable to expect as well. You found resistance here before a few times, right? Like literally 3 times right here. 1, 2, 3. I'm putting the line right over this one, but 1, 2, 3. You found three resistance points right up here. Found resistance right there. Some turbulence in this area as well. Turbulence right here for support and resistance. Support right there. It's a very significant level. That might be exactly where you go. And then just real quick, what about this high to low here? Your 1414 is right there. I mean, that could be where you go. Maybe you do go just above 0048. Maybe you do. But something higher. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. A move up on a weekly time frame, just imagining a move up to 0048 would look like that. You'd be right at your lower high point. You'd probably consolidate here, but instead of forming a rejection, instead of rejecting like this or rejecting like this every single time that you've hit this line, you'll probably consolidate instead. Different behavior begets different results, and then you'll break out going into well, the way that I have this drawn, it'd be January, but probably not that long. It'd probably be like the end of December, the middle of December that we start to break out, I would assume. And on our way up to 3 cents and beyond, right? 3 cents or higher is the expectation of this next move. 3 cents or higher. not even 3 cents, probably above 3 cents, like 3.2 cents or higher, really. Probably around 4.5 cents to 3 cents. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye-bye.